There are so many different sides of Prabhupada and qualities and characteristics. You couldn't count them all. And you always felt that Krishna was there speaking through Prabhupada. Prabhupada was giving gifts to Krishna. Very divine things were happening right in front of your eyes that you knew it was taking place and you were just a witness to it. So in these scenes, as I recall, Prabhupada, he had visions of building temples, and they involved the transfer of funds. American BBT had become very successful, and Prabhupada had a formula from the very beginning. 50% of the money will be used for books, and the other 50% will be used for building temples. We had considered those buses as temples, traveling temples, so we were allowed to do that. But Prabhupada had this great grand vision of the whole world and the future and laying the foundation for the movement throughout the world. And so he would, out of this vision, direct, in this case me, to understand what he wanted and understand where to transfer money, how to account for it, make sure it got to the right place and was used for the right purpose. And so some of this was done in correspondence. Some of it was done in phone calls, and some of it, when I was fortunate enough, was done in person. When devotees requested Prabhupada's help to buy a farm, sometimes then the money would come from BBT. We were sending a lot of money to Mayapur, and we were sending a lot of money also to Bombay. So Prabhupada's vision was so all-encompassing and global. We didn't know what was going to come up next. We just knew that he had already seen everything, and now it was just unfolding, and he was letting us in on it, step by step. That's how we experienced Prabhupada building up the movement. I wouldn't even use the word business because it just doesn't do justice to what was really happening. This great grand vision, and Prabhupada just directing like a conductor in an orchestra, all the pieces to fall into place gradually. But he had already seen it in its full composition and grand performance, and we weren't there yet. Prabhupada already saw it completed, and you just got that sense that you were dealing with Prabhupada in past and present and future just blended together.
I had gone to America to form a little collecting party for Mayapur. So in Los Angeles, Prabhupada had arrived from somewhere, and he was up in his quarters, and most of the devotees had gone out on chanting on Sankirtan. And I was staying in a room opposite the temple, and I was looking out at the temple and at the dusk, with the evening star, and I was thinking, geez, I'd like to go up and see Prabhupada, but I don't want to just kind of burst in on him. And just as I was thinking that, Upendra came walking out of the temple across the street, and he looked up and he saw me and he was waving me to come. I opened the window and he said, "Oh, Prabhupada wants to see you." So I went up to see Prabhupada, and it was very sweet, very quiet, and Prabhupada wanted to know about Mayapur, and we were talking about Mayapur, and he was saying how he used to visit the Chaitanya Mat, but it was very difficult for him because when he visited the Chaitanya Mat, he'd have to stay in the room with all the brahmacharis on a choki bed, and he said their noses were always working. He said, "This world is a horrible place, but Lord Krishna said to me, you come down and write those books." And I said, "Oh, I do not want to go there. It is a horrible place." And Lord Krishna said, no, you come down and write those books. I will take care of everything. And I said, no, I do not want to go there. But he insisted, you come down and write those books. I will take care of everything. So he said, you just see how Krishna has taken care of everything for me. That was a great revelation, an extraordinary thing that Prabhupada was saying. And I looked at Upendra and he looked at me, and it was just like electric, the atmosphere.
Prabhupada would have a group of devotees come and sit, and Shyamsundar would tell the different philosophies of the different philosophers for the philosophy book to be compiled. So while we were waiting for the class to start in Prabhupada's room, I was sitting right in front of Prabhupada's desk, and Prabhupada was sitting at his desk, and I was chanting my rounds, and I was chanting very nicely and very attentively, and I was pronouncing very properly, and I was chanting out loud. And I was chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, again and again and again. Prabhupada had been very quiet, and at a certain point, Prabhupada raised his voice, and just from total silence, Prabhupada said, "No sound!" and raised his hand up in the air with his palm probably about 2 or 3 inches from my face. And all my pride in trying to please him by my nice chanting was just totally shattered. What I understood from that is that one shouldn't make a show of their chanting in front of the spiritual master. You're supposed to chant on the side, not showing off, chanting for your own purification and calling out to Krishna to please engage us in his service, but especially not to make a show of our chanting.
Mahaprabhu, they have already taken 1.5 lakh from me.
Now Gopal Krishna in India requested that BBT give him a loan of $160,000. In India, just this during the Mayapur festival, he requested a loan from a US BBT for $160,000, which would be used to construct the second residence building.
So how will pay back?
His plan was that the American temples would purchase rooms, and over a period of 4 or 5 years, they would pay that money back. So is that still approved by you, by your divine grace?
Yes, I know that.
The only thing is that we will have to delay the loan, because for the next 3 months, all our money will be used to print these 17 books.
Fastable books, then loan. However, we cannot hold up printing, that is not possible. This you must always keep in view. We are not going to, the surplus money we are going to pay. Not that at the cost of stopping printing. You must always keep it. When you require money for printing, there is no question of loan at temple. This should be our